I have slowly, systematically lost many family members and friends. When I say I lost them, I mean spiritually, right? I've lost them. I have, okay, let's say you're on Facebook, or you're just on social media. Periodically, you'll get a message or a text or somebody sharing something, and it's of one of these religions, right? Some sort of information from, you know, Praise God Today or whatever, right? It's endless. So in response to these, you know, every time I get one, of course, I respond with questions. I ask questions that I think that, you know, maybe people should be asking themselves, okay? But if you notice, despite what your belief system, whatever it is, if you open your mouth, okay, speaking about any one of these three Abrahamic religions, that would be Judaism, Christianity, or Islam. If you're speaking, now hold on, because I'm just telling truth. If you're speaking to a black man, or any man, okay, you'll at least be heard. I'm speaking generally, okay, but you'll at least be heard. Until a black woman walks into the room, okay? As soon as a black woman walks into the room, if you're speaking or addressing a black woman, and you're speaking about anything that has to do with religion, okay, and if you don't agree with that religion, instantly, you don't know what you're talking about. You obviously haven't read the Bible, or you haven't read whatever, okay, but you don't know what you're talking about. Before you can finish a sentence, the conversation's already over. Before you can prove any point, conversation's over, we're not going to get anywhere, we're just going back and forth, and that's it, right? I'm going to go ahead and suggest, if, let's say, I had blonde hair and blue eyes, I'm willing to bet I would at least get an ear for 10, 15, 20 minutes. However, I'm a black man, you see? You don't know what you're talking about. Okay? I find that extremely odd. Actually, I don't find that odd. What I find odd is that we don't question that. You see, black man, you're not respected enough to be listened to. The white man gave us the Bible, and that's it. The white man gave us the Bible, that's it. Black man, you don't have anything to say. It doesn't matter that the Bible is plagiarized from black people. That doesn't matter. It matters so little that it warrants no investigation whatsoever. Because the Master gave us the Bible, and that's it. If you don't believe me, test out that theory. Go speak to a believing black woman and see how far you get in your conversation. It doesn't matter your approach. No matter how you speak or present this information, you're aggressive and you're ignorant and you don't know what you're talking about. And as they're telling you this, in so many words, they genuinely believe it. They genuinely believe you're ignorant and you just don't know. Okay? Let me tell you what I do know. Again, I do know that the Bibles were plagiarized from ancient Kemet. Okay, listen to me. This is what's up. Listen to me, please. Islam was created from Christianity. Islam was created from Christianity. Christianity is created from Judaism. You follow me? Islam was created from Christianity. Christianity comes from Judaism. Judaism was created from Ma'at, from ancient Kemet. That's a fact. So in the very least, what did you imagine? If you're looking for the least tampered with biblical story, I say story, why would you not go to the original? Why do we stop and just believe the European version of these stories? And the new religions that are created, like Jehovah's Witnesses and stuff like that, we believe those too. But we can never go back to the original Bible story. Right? I was speaking to my aunt, whom I haven't seen since I was a child. I haven't seen her since I was a child. We get into this conversation. I explained to her that I've gone through the 3 books of Abraham. I didn't have an opportunity to tell her that I'm delving myself into the Kabbalah. And what my research has found. Before I'm cut off. Right? And she begins to tell me about Jehovah of all religions. The most unbelievable and ridiculous freaking version of all of these versions. So incredibly easy to just blow holes through that lie, through that story. Okay, but you have to understand, every religion that's created, right, is created for a new populace. All right? We look at the cerebral capabilities, the intellect of a population. Trust me, there's an Abrahamic religion that will fit those people. More or less complex. There's an Abrahamic religion just for you. So, if you tell me that you're a follower of Islam, I have already a preconceived notion of the type of conversation I'm going to have with you. Same thing with Jehovah's Witnesses and Christians and so on and so forth. Okay? Before I can finish any sentence, conversation is over. So I'm going to make a suggestion. I'm going to call it Stockholm Syndrome. Okay? Why? Because the Master gave us these books. When we arrived, okay, on the good ship Jesus, we didn't have any of these books. There was no concept of God. Actually, before Egypt, the concept of a single God didn't exist. That concept first began in Egypt. But we don't want to talk about that. We don't want to know anything about that. See? Why would we not want to at least look at the original story? I'll tell you why. My aunt sort of gave me a little tip. She questioned archaeology and so forth. Basically science. Not that, we didn't cook our food in a microwave today. We didn't turn on the light switch and expect the light to come on. You didn't turn the key in your car and expect for it to start and take you where you need to go. Not that every single thing that you look at around you, look around you right now. Look around you. Look, I don't care where you are. Look around you. Okay? Man created your environment. Science and the brain of man created your environment and everything in it. Everything, including the Bibles that you're reading. So when you tell me you don't believe in science, that's a lie. You do. You do. Did your roof fall on you this morning? Do you believe that when you turn on your water faucet, fire is going to come out of it? Do you believe, okay, when you, let's say, turn on your car, do you believe that it's going to go? When you turn on the radio, you expect to hear music. Do you get my point? You believe in science. You believe a particular outcome is going to come because of the research and the labor and the mind power that was put into whatever object is that you're manipulating at the time. You believe in it. You believe it's going to do a certain thing for you. Period. Religion hasn't created anything. It's the story of creation. However, it has not created anything. But yet, if science disproves the Bible, science is incorrect. Not the other way around. That is Stockholm Syndrome. That is, as a people, we have been beaten, raped, pillaged, tortured, castrated so much that we love our master. And our master gave us a white God. I say a white God because the Bible speaks of Adam and Eve and humanity being about 6,000 years old. Okay, now if we go to science, that many of you probably don't believe in, though you do believe in it, okay? If we go to science, science will tell you that man is millions of years old. Millions. Alright. Well, what man are they talking about? Alright. I'm going to suggest to you that we have evidences, okay, of ancient man and how old man is. However, that's not the white man. You're hard-pressed to find any evidence of the white man existing past 10,000, actually 7,000 years. 10,000 years is actually in dispute. So, if we're going to say, if we're going to follow evidences that show that the white man has been here for about 7,000 to 10,000 years, and then the Bible is saying that the beginning of mankind was 6,000 years ago, what does that tell you? It should tell you that the Bible is a story of the creation of white people. The book is not for you. How is it that Adam and Eve are in the garden? Okay? Where's everyone else? Where's everyone else? And have you think that no one else in the world existed? Okay, well, we know that's not true. So the Garden of Eden would be where white folks began their story. And that story was given to you under duress and under slavery. Look, okay. Christianity, the New Testament, in its entirety is fraud. The entire New Testament is literally created by the white man. Now that book was created for slaves. Islam was created for slaves. It's how you mentally enslave someone. That's how you mentally enslave someone. Do you think that you have to forcefully, physically maintain your slaves? You know how impossible that would be if mentally they weren't flawed? You have to destroy them mentally. You have to give them a God, an overseer. Do you understand? The whole premise of Abrahamic religions are that our ancestors sinned and that we're cursed, which gives an explanation as to why we're to accept our persecution. Don't you see that? Don't you see that? It is religion that's telling us we're born in sin. So we have to accept our enslavement. And then we'll be, rewarded in the afterlife. Spend your life as a slave. God says so. And it will be the woman, okay, that separates herself from her man, and raises her children to perpetuate this lie. It is Stockholm Syndrome. You've fallen in love with your oppressor. Ironically, the creators of these books, I can't say ironically, I say systematically. Alright, let me tell you a story really quickly. I made a video with George Bush 2. George Bush 2, in this video, you can read it, you can hear it for yourself, okay? Is literally performing a ritual, basically. He's performing a ritual. We'll get into that. However, the words you can't ignore are predicting 9/11 without a doubt. It's not a conspiracy. I'm actually making the video right now. I'll show it to you. But trust me, it's without a doubt predicting 9/11. I don't even have to use that example. There's many, many examples of other prophets that have nothing to do with the Bible. Okay, well, how is that so? I'm suggesting this. If you wrote the books, if you wrote the Bible, it's not difficult to be prophetic. If you're making the prophecies come true. Our Hebrew Israelite brothers, black Hebrews, okay? Their biggest cling to the King James Version of the Bible is that it's speaking about us in particular. Okay, fair enough. But I'm suggesting to you, it's very easy to speak about us in particular if the writers of the book are writing the book to manipulate you. Of course the Bible can tell you you're going to be enslaved for X amount of time if it's the one that's enslaving you. So they're telling you when you're going to be enslaved and when you're going to be let go. You take that as prophecy. I take that as, okay, well, you're the one who wrote the book.
Master?
You see the logic? There's a disconnect. It's Stockholm Syndrome. We didn't come here with any books. We didn't come here with any Bibles. The first person to even suggest a monotheistic God, right, a one Godhead, actually was a pharaoh in Egypt. Had nothing to do with white people or the Bible. That's another story. However, he was rejected. This concept that there is some anthropomorphic entity that created all of us comes from these books. And it's the most ridiculous thing. If you just think, if you sit back as an adult and just listen to these fantastic stories, in the very least, okay, in the very least, you could spend 20 minutes to an hour, as much time as you spend in church, or the mosque, or wherever, right? You could spend 20 minutes to an hour researching the original story, which was written by you, black man. Look, again, Islam is an extension of Christianity. Islam comes from Christianity. It's a fact. Research it. Okay, well, Christianity comes from Judaism. Islam comes from Christianity. Christianity comes from Judaism. However, Judaism comes from Ma'at. Ma'at. M-A-A-T. People. Ma'at. Ancient Kemet. Black people. Africa. The story was plagiarized. Taken off the walls and off of palettes. Templates, I'm sorry. From ancient Kemet. It's a fact. I'm telling my aunt this information. Or I tried to, for example. One by one, I'm slowly losing family members and friends. Like I said, black man, you're not respected. You're not respected enough to speak. You can't speak if you're speaking against this white God. If you speak against the master, black man, you're ignorant. You don't know what you're talking about. Conversation's over. The master's right. The master is God. Conversation's over. We can't listen to black brothers and sisters who do research, who have evidences. We can't even hear them. Why? Because we're listening to a litany of ancient white people telling fantastic stories. Oh, these are people that were inspired by God. Inspired by God. Let me ask you, have people stopped being inspired by God? Have people stopped being inspired by God? If someone woke up today and said, hey, I was inspired by God, I just wrote another book of the Bible, would that be accepted? No. Of course it won't. But you can't ask yourself why. God now only spoke to ancient white people. That's what we're to believe. Within a 6,000 year paradigm. Though humanity is millions of years old. So God didn't speak to any other races. For hundreds of thousands of years. Then the white race came. God came to speak with them just long enough to tell them that they're in power. And that they're the chosen people. And our mothers, and our sisters, and our daughters, our grandmothers, are being used as a tool to keep the black man in check. You see, she raises the family. Today, she's the teacher. Today, she's the head of the household, which was a prediction in the Bible. A prediction in the Bible. That's the woman that will be the head of the household and the teacher and the breadwinner. We don't think it's odd that that's what's happening today. Now, of course, if you're a Hebrew Israelite or a believer of any of these Abrahamic religions, you're going to say, oh, yeah, see, that's another prophecy that's in the Bible. I'm going to say, oh, yeah, see, the creators of these Bibles have yet again made another prediction come true. Because they don't only own the Bibles, they own the entertainment industry, the music industry, right? The educational system. They own everything. Money, the banking system, they own everything. It's very easy for them to make any one of these predictions in the Bible come true. Because they have. But we can't see it that way. We have to believe in some spooky God. We have to have a parent entity that's above us. That is Stockholm Syndrome. We're so afraid. We're such cowards that we can't imagine going through life without a parent in the sky. Listen to what I'm saying. Grown people, grown adults, by the billions, masses amounts of people, of adults, can't fathom there not being a parent floating around in a heaven somewhere. This is a sickness. This is a sickness that needs to be combated. And if I lose every friend and family member that I have, so be it. Because the next generation, my son's generation, okay? We cannot let them go. We cannot survive another generation of this slave mentality. We didn't come here with any book. We came here slaves. We were ripped of our belief systems. They broke the noses off of every fucking statue in Egypt. Stripped it of its information. Burned down libraries. Why do you think they did that? Knowledge is power. And they took all of our knowledge and all of our power. It's illegal for you to read. I'll fucking kill you if you read a book. Except here, you can read the Bible. Slave, I'll kill you if you read anything. But here, you can read a Bible. Bibles are systems, okay? Biblios are collections of books, but they're literally systems on how to control massive amounts of people. Now, if you stick with me, I'm sorry I'm a little long. Like I said, I just came off of a disturbing conversation, and I just needed to vent, maybe get somebody else's comments. But my point is this. These systems are created to make a working class, while the people that are not the working class are off doing the business of surviving in this realm. Actual research. Where the fuck are we? Why are we here? How did we get here? How do we not die? You see, we don't spend any time, any brain power on the actual challenges that we're facing on Earth. We all die. Why on earth would we not be focused every single day on how not to die? I'll tell you why. Because of these books. These books tell us, hey man, just work your entire life. You know you were born in an original sin, so we need you to bow down before, the powers that be, until you die. And then, we'll take care of you. We'll give you like virgins and shit. Or you can walk hand in hand with Jesus, baby, sweet, white baby Jesus. Or Jehovah. The letter J didn't even exist back then for us as people. And what's the actual goal that we should be locked in on? That is achievable. That, in my opinion, is far more beautiful than any story in any of these Bibles. The truth is far more beautiful and exciting. A little bit scary. But I have faith. I have faith in humanity. Because I have faith that when I turn on my light switch, the light's going to come on.